My first competition was back in 2000. So the year 2000. So I guess that's 21 years ago in April. So I heard about an organization called the National Gym Association. I don't know if anyone's heard about it. It's the NGA, and they hold shows in the States. And I knew guys, because I was from London, Ontario back then. I knew guys who did competitions with NGA, and the closest NGA shows to us were in Buffalo, New York, which is only about a couple hours drive. So I chose that to be my first competition in a natural bodybuilding show. And a little backstory about that, I heard it through other competitors that were local to me at a local supplement shop. And I actually did a pre-prep prior to the show. So a year before the show, so in 1999, I did a mock prep myself because that's how much I wasn't quite sure if I had what it took to compete. And I want to make sure, because I'm the type of guy, I'm not good at just jumping into things. I kind of like to feel like I belong or I know what I'm doing. So I did a mock prep and I took pictures and everything just to see where I stood and how I looked. I did all the practice posing. This is like a year before the show. And I also went and watched a show because the worst thing you want to do is like to not even know what you're getting into. Like you kind of want to at least see a show before, know what the posing is required, what kind of condition that these people come in, all that kind of stuff. So I watched the show. I really mastered the mandatory poses because that's one element that you'd have like a lot of control over, right? One presentation in physique sports, like bikini, bodybuilding, physique, all these divisions is very, very, very important. Because proper presentation can beat like a physique that typically you wouldn't beat, if that makes any sense. Like if some guy looks better than me but he doesn't pose well at all, he won't be able to display what it is he has, right? And if I come on there and I hit all the poses correctly, and you can also hide flaws because your posing is so good. So yeah, so I really recommend practicing posing. So I practice posing really hard. So I end up entering the show in April of 2000 in Buffalo, New York, the NGA Can-Am Natural Bodybuilding Championships. And I was in the lightweight division. I really nailed my diet. Like I took it very seriously, hardcore seriously. They call it macro counting and all that stuff now, but back then it was just like we count our fat grams, protein. We didn't call it macro counting or all this stuff. So I drove in there from. I was living in Toronto at the time, so I drove in there to Buffalo. So I think we drove the day of the show to about an hour and a half. I'm pretty sure it was a rainy day. Showed up for the weigh-in because you had to weigh in and stuff to see what weight classes you're in. Because back then they didn't have men's physique and all that. For men's divisions, it was just natural bodybuilding. You had the novices, the opens, and pro divisions, right? And masters. I think at the time I was 28 when I did my first competition. And I believe my competitor number was 29. So that's why I keep on remembering that. So yeah, so I weighed myself in and I'm around 5'9", so I weighed in like I came in shredded, like because I was looking at the magazines, I watched the shows, I knew that they really rewarded what they called shredded. Like I had friends of mine that saw me that thought I would look just sickening. Like it's the kind of a shape I can't duplicate much anymore in my 40s. The cross striations in the quads and all that kind of stuff. I came in that lean. If you saw me in clothes, you'd think I was like unhealthy or near death, right? But that's kind of like the look the natural bodybuilder has, right? When they're really, really in good contest shape. So I showed up probably the most shred I've ever showed up ever, and I competed 14 times. I don't know if I've ever came in that shredded as I did my first show. So I weighed in the 140s, low 140s. Like I was pretty surprised. I took off all my stuff to weigh in. I was like 142 or something crazy, right? Some crazy lightweight, but I have a small frame, so I didn't really look skinny. I look skinny in clothes. So yeah, so they weighed us all in. So they weighed in all the novice bodybuilders and they decided to cut it in half. So they took, I think there was like 15 guys and they divided it into two classes, light and heavy. And I think the cutoff, they made it around 155, 160. So I was one of the lighter guys. In the novice lightweight division, there were 7 of us. I remember being backstage and thinking, oh my God, this guy here, a couple of these guys look insane. They're going to beat me for sure. Like, oh my God. Because I have an insecurity, I guess, with arm size, right? And so these guys have these big biceps and they're doing their cable curls and all that stuff and looking just freaky. But this is a show about illusion and proportion and separations and presentation, right? So all that stuff is huge. And these guys, yeah, they might have, like, if you saw them at the gym, you'd think, oh my God, this guy's got a way better physique. He's going to beat you for sure. But I look back at pictures and there was no way, like, it was obvious that they weren't, their posing wasn't very good. Other than their arms, their physiques weren't all that impressive. They were impressive, but the balance wasn't there. And they can tell they didn't put in the work with the presentation. Like, I put in the work with the presentation. I had mandatory poses nailed. Like, I don't know if I never practiced that much for mandatories in my life. so yeah, when the prejudging was all done, I looked at pictures. I said, oh my God, I think I might win this thing. Like, I walked into the show thinking my goal is, because I used to be a wrestler in high school. And every time we went to tournaments, my coach would always say, hey, the goal here is to come home with some hardware. You want to come home with some hardware. That meant like a medal or a trophy or something like that. You want to come home with something in your hands. So, and back in wrestling, it'd be top 3 who got something in their hands. So my goal walking into the show was, first and foremost, before the show even happened, I didn't want to make a fool of myself. And then secondly, once I feel more confident in myself, I wanted to get top 3. That was my goal. So I want to walk in here and get top 3. When it was all said and done, and then my friends were like, it was actually an ex-girlfriend that was there with me, right? But hey, we all have ex-girlfriends. So she's basically saying, I think you probably won the show. There's like people beside me when we were watching it were saying, oh my God, you look fantastic and you're shredded and this and that, and you probably won the show. So I think you're going to win this thing. So it's and then back then that was when you had the prejudging and the night show. So you take off the night show. So after prejudging, everyone takes off and you go eat somewhere. And I think I probably had like a chicken sandwich with some French fries and all that kind of stuff. Come back for the night show, feeling confident, but you can never ever you never know what the place is going to be until the placing happens, right? So you're sitting there, you're nervous, you do your night show posing routine. They bring you back on stage, and then they start announcing who the winner, the placings, and all that kind of stuff. And it turns out I win the novice lightweight class. So I was pretty happy about that. So that's my first experience, and obviously winning doesn't hurt to get you a little bit hooked. I've done 14 shows since, but yeah, I just had a lot of people commenting on me on how ripped I was and how shredded I was. Because I'm telling you, these NGA shows or in the States, if you compete in the US, they love shredded. So, and here's the trophy. I dug this up because I knew I was going to talk about it. There's the trophy I won for the novice. This is one of those old school trophies, but this is like 21 years ago. This is for the novice lightweight champion at the 2000 NGA Can-Am Championships. So that was my first experience in natural bodybuilding as far as competing. And it was a pretty good experience. And I liked having a goal and having something to work towards. And it kind of just it gives you a goal in life, gives you something to work towards and strive towards, and gives you a goal that that you're accountable towards, right? So that's the story. That's my first competition. It was the NGA show in Buffalo, New York, Natural Bodybuilding. Competed in the novice lightweight class. I did, but when the lightweight, you go into the overall. Actually, I think I said there were 7 guys in lightweight, but I think there was like middleweight and heavyweight as well. So I think there was like 3 guys in the overall. So I competed for the overall, but the guy who won the overall was a freak. Like, the heavyweight guy won the overall of the show. But that wasn't my goal. My goal was first of all not to make a fool of myself, and then second of all, it was to get top 3. And then I came out with first, so that was pretty exciting. All I remember is back in the day, because I was talking about like my first time competing. We didn't. I don't believe there was like internet. If there was internet, it was very limited. So I didn't really like. I didn't do like internet searches. Like I used to read the magazines. Like there used to be a Natural Bodybuilding magazine that just come out. And there's also muscle mags, but we start to learn by then that they weren't natural, right? So I had a subscription to Natural Bodybuilding magazine, and Iron Man magazine used to have Natural Bodybuilding magazines back then. Iron Man Natural or something, I can't remember what it's called, but it was Iron Man magazine, but it was more for the natural bodybuilders, supposedly. So I just get a lot of my information out of those magazines. So I get stuff like, I think I used that for my first contest prep. I think I used like the Texas Shredder. I think it's what his name was. He was like a WNBF natural pro, and he came in shredded for shows. I kind of took a little bit of ideas from him, and then also with other foods you like and all that kind of stuff, and kind of come up with your own diet plans or approaches to competing and your own workouts. There's a lot of trial and error and a lot of like developing your own program or nutrition or training. And even back then there wasn't a lot of like contest prep coaches. You kind of did your own thing. There's the odd one out there that would actually train people for shows, but it wasn't like it is now. Not even close. Most athletes and competitors back then would do your own training and diet and all that stuff yourself. And just get a buddy or something to help you with your posing to practice with. So just make sure, hey, check out idfa.ca or go into my on this IDFA Natural profile here on IG, Instagram. Yeah, go check out my in my bio, my link. I added one of those link tree links, and they're actually pretty cool. So if you have a lot of things you want to promote, try it out. Because you just click on the link, and then it shows you a whole list of all the different links you can put. So it's really cool. I can put the IDFA website, my Facebook page, my YouTube channel. If I have a YouTube video I want to promote, I can put that there. So just quick, easy little clicks. An IDFA store button. Or if you want to promote events, you just click on it. And if you have a website where all the event information is, it'll just go directly there. So this link tree is pretty cool. I had it like last week or sometime around then. And it's actually pretty cool. But I'm telling you right now, I really want to. Oh, I got a YouTube video that's uploading now, but it's taking a long time. I did an interview with Chuck Thompson, the grandfather of natural bodybuilding. But just in my typical fashion, I started making a video and I started making it editing way harder than it needs to be. I started like, oh, it'd be cool if we added this. It'd be cool if we added that. So I add all these things and make the video like a 25-minute video, and it's all. Yeah, Chris has asked me where there's a list of the IDFA shows. Well, go to idfa.ca and you'll see we got a list there. But right now we don't have any live events. So if you're asking if I have shows in certain areas, I basically, now that they're online competitions, I have a show everywhere. That's the beauty of online. They're worldwide. But the show on May 15th is the Canadian Nationals Online Championships. So that's only for Canadians. But then all the rest of my shows are for anyone, anywhere. So that's the beauty of online. It can reach anywhere in the world. So you can live Germany, USA, Australia, and you can compete. Yeah, May 15th is the Canada only one, but June 5th we have one open to everyone. And then July 24th, that's open to everyone. Also, go to my YouTube or whatever, check out, the YouTube link is in this, my bio link, if you go to that Linktree bio thing. Go to my YouTube page and it'll talk about online bodybuilding competitions. I'll show you how we run them. I'm actually did a pretty damn good job of the December 13th online bodybuilding show. So it gives you an idea of how we do it. And it worked out really, really well. So the online shows on June 5th and July 24th are open to everyone worldwide. It's only the May 15th show that's the Canadian only show, because we want to do a Canadian National Championships, so we want Canadian only competitors for May 15th. But yeah, Chris just messaged me on here, and I'll shoot you a link to all these things. Because people, once they see how we do the online bodybuilding competitions, are a lot more comfortable with the idea. Because you got to kind of see how we do it, and then maybe watch the video that kind of talks about how we're going to do it. Because it worked out really, really well. The judges were even surprised how well it came across as far as for them doing accurate judging. They were like pleasantly surprised that with the photos and with the video that we could do a really good job with the judging. So it worked out really well. Yeah, so anything IDFA, go to idfa.ca for more info from the IDFA. And I'm going to be uploading a YouTube video with my interview with Chuck Thompson right after I'm done this, because right now it's uploading. These videos, it's like a 30-minute video, but with a lot of images and video, and so it's taking a long time to upload. But it will be up. Well, I'll put it up tonight, but it might be up late tonight. But you'll be able to see for sure tomorrow. But I might have it up by 10:30 tonight. But it's a really cool video we did with Chuck. Okay, everyone. So I'm gonna just call it a night. Not a night, but I'm gonna call it. I'm just gonna jump off of Instagram Live here. Thank you all for checking it out.